8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Danushka Madhabala and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. The Department of Irrigation says that the water levels of several rivers are continuing to rise following heavy rainfall. Warning has been issued for strong winds and rough seas for naval and fishermen communities in the Arabian Sea and in the Bay of Bengal. A decision has been taken to remove trees posing risks within the Colombo city. President's Fund deadline for 2024-25 ICT scholarship applications extended. Applications for Grade 5 scholarship exam accepted from today. It is stressed that attracting global business investment significantly boosts national economic development. In foreign news, Rafah carnage in Gaza prompts global condemnation. In sports news, Xavi says next Barcelona manager will suffer. The Department of Irrigation says that the water levels of several rivers are continuing to rise following heavy rainfall. The department mentioned that the water levels of the Athanagalo Oya, Kalani, Kalu, Ging and Nilwala rivers are currently on the rise. The Director of Irrigation, SPC Sugiswara, stated that the water levels of the aforesaid rivers are at caution level and therefore residents of low-lying areas near the rivers are advised to remain vigilant. Meanwhile, 4 sluice gates of the Dadroya Reservoir in the Kurunegala district have been opened this morning, releasing water at a rate of around 7,000 cubic feet per second. The sluice gates of Kakuluganga have also been opened and water is being released at a rate of 80 cubic feet per second, which may cause the water level of the Kudaganga to rise. Meanwhile, the Met Department issuing a warning says that the cyclone storm Rimal, which was located over the North Bay of Bengal and adjoining West Bengal, has made landfall, crossing the same coast during the morning today. However, very strong winds of about 60 to 70 kilometers per hour, accompanied with heavy rainfall and very strong seas, are likely to continue further over the sea areas around the island, Arabian Sea areas and Bay of Bengal Sea areas due to the active southwest monsoonal condition. The naval and fishing communities are advised not to venture into the Arabian Sea areas and the Bay of Bengal Sea areas until further notice. State Minister of Defence Pramita Bandara Tennakon says that a special program will be implemented to cut down and remove the trees at risk of collapsing within the jurisdiction of the Colombo Municipal Council. Speaking during a press conference today, the State Minister also mentioned that the Sri Lanka Army and Civil Defence Force personnel are expected to be deployed for the process of removing such high-risk trees. He further revealed that the relevant proceedings will be conducted under the full supervision of the Colombo Municipal Council, and it has been also decided to plant new trees as a replacement for the trees that are being removed. Meanwhile, so far a total of 7 deaths have been reported due to fallen trees caused by the prevailing adverse weather conditions. According to the Disaster Management Centre's data, a total of 55,406 persons belonging to 14,754 families in 212 district secretariat divisions within 20 districts have been affected by the bad weather. The deadline for submitting applications for the 2024-25 scholarship program jointly offered by the Sri Lanka Telecommunication Regulatory Commission and the President's Fund for students studying information and communication technology at the GCE advanced level has been extended until the 7th of June. As the awarding of these scholarships need to be done promptly, students who have met the qualifications should properly complete their applications. The completed application should be sent by registered post only to the Secretary, President's Fund, number 35, 3rd floor, Lake House Building, Dr. Vijayawardena Mawatha, Colombo 10, before the specified date. The name of the relevant scholarship program and the educational zone to which the school belongs should be mentioned on the top left corner of the envelope. The acceptance of applications for this scholarship program was initially set to end on the 22nd of this month. However, due to numerous requests from students who faced various administrative issues and bad weather conditions, the deadline has been extended. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and we continue with local news. The Commissioner General of Examinations, Amit Jayasundara, stated that applications for the 2024 Grade 5 Scholarship Examination will be accepted online from today onwards. Accordingly, online applications for the exam will be accepted until the 14th of June. The Exams Commissioner General emphasized that no applications will be accepted after midnight on the 14th of June, and the deadline for submitting applications will not be extended under any circumstances. The students who are studying in the Grade 5 in a government school or a government-approved school will be eligible to sit the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination, whereas the students of low-income families who are below 11 years of age by the 31st of January are eligible to receive scholarships. The Commissioner General of Examinations further mentioned that applications can be submitted via the website onlineexams.gov.lk. However, he also stated that if there are any issues in this regard, further information can be obtained by contacting the hotline number 1911, or the telephone numbers of the Examination Department, including 0112 784 537, 0112 784 537, 0112 786616, 0112 786616, 0112 784 208, 0112 784 208. The 2024 Grade 5 Scholarship Examination is scheduled to be held on the 15th of September 2024. Senior advisor to the President on climate change, Ruwan Wijewardena, stated that attracting investments from renowned businessmen such as Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk would significantly boost the country's economy. He emphasized that partnering with a project like Starlink could provide internet facilities to underserved areas, supporting the growth of various sectors beneficial to the economy, including the tourism industry. Mr. Wijewardena made these remarks at a news conference held at the Presidential Media Centre today under the theme, Collective Path to a Stable Country. Several political parties, including the Maubima Janata Party and intellectual groups, have signed an agreement in Colombo to launch a new political movement named Sarvajana Balaya. This morning, the Janata Nidahas Peramuna, led by MP Bimal Weerawangsha, Pivithu Hela Urumaya, led by MP Udaya Gambampila, Maubima Janata Party, led by entrepreneur Lilith Jayawardena, the Democratic Left Front, the Communist Party, the Democratic Left Front, the Communist Party, the Independent MPs Forum, and several intellectual groups took part in signing the agreement to launch the new political movement, Sarvajana Balawegaya. To end the local segment of news, the headlines again. That ends the local segment of news. Pardon me.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday distributed 700 freehold land deeds across 4 divisional secretariat divisions in the Vavonia district and 5 divisional secretariat divisions in the Mandar district as part of the Urumaya program during a ceremony at the Mojo Festival Hall in Vavonia. Under the initial phase of the Urumia initiative, a total of 5,400 freehold deeds are slated to be distributed to the Vavuniya and Mannar districts. In his address at the event, President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that the provision of these Urumia freehold land deeds marks the commencement of the agricultural modernization endeavor. The President emphasized that within the agricultural modernization program, modern farming techniques will be introduced to rural areas within the next 3 years, enabling individuals to enhance their income through increased production, facilitated by modern technology. He underscored that granting free land rights to the populace constitutes a privatization of state-owned assets, directly boosting the economy of the country.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
We now take a look at Watchlight. Meanwhile, the Met Department says that strong winds of about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills and in the northern, north-central, western, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Moraragala districts due to the increase of southwest monsoonal winds. Flow over the island. Fairly strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times elsewhere in the island.
Coming up, world news.
First, the headlines. Rafah carnage in Gaza prompts global condemnation. Joint declaration adopted at Japan, China and South Korea trilateral summit. North Korea plans to launch satellite. Israeli forces have bombed a tent camp housing displaced people in a designated safe zone in Rafah, killing 45 Palestinians, most of them women and children. The attack has triggered an international outcry, leading to calls for a ceasefire. The attack on the camp in Tel al-Sultan came after Israeli forces bombed shelters housing displaced Palestinians in other areas, including Jabalia, Nusayrat and Gaza City, killing at least 160 others, according to Palestinian officials. Israel's top military prosecutor described the Rafah attack as very grave and said an investigation is underway. Earlier, the Israeli military confirmed the attack, saying it targeted Hamas fighters. At least 36,050 Palestinians have been killed and 81,026 people have been wounded in Israel's war on Gaza since the 7th of October. The death toll in Israel from Hamas attacks on that date stands at 1,139, with dozens still held captive. The leaders of Japan, China and South Korea have adopted a joint declaration that includes their pledge to continue positive efforts for the political settlement of the Korean Peninsula issue. The trilateral summit between Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio, Chinese Premier Li Qiang and South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol was held in Seoul today. The declaration says the leaders reaffirmed their commitment to the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations and to an international order based on the rule of law and international law. It also says the leaders agreed that the trilateral summit and the trilateral foreign ministers meeting should be held on a regular basis without hiatus. The leaders pledged to identify and implement mutually beneficial cooperation projects centered on 6 key areas. The declaration says the 3 countries will designate 2025-26 as a year of the cultural exchange among the 3 countries, while also striving to increase the number of trilateral people-to-people exchanges to 40 million by 2030 through tourism and other areas. The Japan Coast Guard says it has been informed by North Korea of its plan to launch what it calls an artificial satellite sometime between May 27th and June the 3rd. The projectile will likely fall in one of 3 areas, 2 locations in the Yellow Sea southwest of North Korea and 1 in the Pacific Ocean east of the Philippines. All of them are outside of Japan's exclusive economic zone. Officials are urging vessels operating in the waters to be on alert for any falling objects. The Japanese government's task force at the Prime Minister's office is collecting and analyzing information. Prime Minister Kishida Fumio has instructed relevant ministries and agencies to provide people with information appropriately through gathering and analysis of intelligence. He said Japan will work closely with the United States and South Korea and strongly urge Pyongyang to exercise full restraint. Kishida instructed government agencies to take all possible measures to prepare for any type of event. To end this bulletin of world news, headlines again. Rafah carnage in Gaza prompts global condemnation. Joint declaration adopted at Japan, China and South Korea trilateral summit. North Korea plans launch satellite. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
According to the Examinations Department sources, the results of the GCE Advanced Level Examination 2023 will probably be released this weekend. The Advanced Level Examination 2023 was held last January. However, the release of the results was delayed due to the delay in holding the Advanced Level practical tests due to trade union action of several teachers' trade unions.
Moving on with sports news.
Outgoing Barcelona boss Xavi says his successor will suffer in the role. The Spaniard, 44, was sacked before taking charge of their final game of the season, a 2-1 win over Sevilla. Former Germany and Bayern Munich boss Hansi Flick is set to replace him. Xavi, who was under contract until 2025, said he was going to leave the club in January, but performed a U-turn, announcing he was staying on at Camp Nou in April. That was sports news.
Go ekakthiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment Manusha Nanayakara said that plantations that do not pay their workers the newly stipulated minimum wage of 1,700 rupees will be reacquired by the government. The minister made these comments while addressing an event held in Alpitia yesterday. The government's decision to raise the wages of plantation workers must be implemented by all plantation employers from next month. Acknowledging that tea smallholders are already paying more than the minimum wage to their workers, the minister said that the wage issue remains with local plantation companies that have been transferred to the private sector from the government.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
The Embassy of Sri Lanka in Rome participated in the celebration of the International Tea Day organized by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in Rome on the 21st of May 2024. The theme of this year's celebration was women's vital roles in the tea industry and how to overcome the challenges they face. In his opening remarks of the formal session, FAO Director General Q Dongyu said that women play a crucial role in the tea industry, substantially contributing to its sustainability, productivity and community development. Their contributions underpin the industry's economic viability, social fabric and sustainable development. During the event, a high-level panel of permanent representatives to FAO was organized in relation to the women's role, culture, economics and history in the tea industry.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The prevailing showery and windy conditions are expected to continue further due to the active southwest monsoonal condition. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragama, central, northwestern and southern provinces. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragama provinces and in the Nuwara district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts in the evening or at night. Strong winds of about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills and in the northern, north-central, western, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Monaragala districts. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The Department of Irrigation says that the water levels of several rivers are continuing to rise following heavy rainfall. Warning has been issued for strong winds and rough seas for naval and fishermen communities in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. A decision has been taken to remove trees posing risks within the Colombo city. President's Fund deadline for 2024-25 ICT scholarship applications extended. Applications for Grade 5 scholarship exam accepted from today. It is stressed that attracting global business investment significantly boosts national economic development. In foreign news, Rafah carnage in Gaza prompts global condemnation. In sports, Xavi says next Barcelona manager will suffer. And that ends tonight's news broadcast. The time reads 6 minutes past 9 o'clock. This is Radio Sri Lanka.